Hello. Today is Friday. It's May 31st.
Krista, my microphone was not in place,
there.
and
It's
the keyboard's
fine.
on the table.
It's fine.
How did you let that happen?
It's casual Friday here at the Level 1 office. I've been wearing a blanket all week, but it's fine.
Have. You also mentioned that you're going to take that blanket with you camping.
I am.
Which begs the question, when last was that blanket laundered?
I just keep it here at the office, so I mean...
So never.
Never. It's fine. I don't sleep with it every night. I don't even use it every day. It's also down. You can't really launder it easily.
I don't sleep in my clothing either, but from time to time, I wash it.
Every now and then.
Let's talk about Facebook, because it is the social media section. And what is the social media section? It's just Facebook, right?
That is all it is anymore. I somehow managed to miss a lot of the Facebook stories this week.
Did you tune them out? Did your brain?
I must have just skipped right over the links, like just, I see Facebook, whatever.
Well, we know that a lot of people are saying that Mark Zuckerberg should not be running Facebook. And in fact, Facebook should be separated into its various parts. It's got so many services, right?
Instagram. It does actually have a lot.
Do they have Snapchat?
Yeah, I think they have Snapchat.
WhatsApp.
Right.
Mm-hmm. They have WhatsApp. And a couple of more smaller ones. And of course, the evil mothership, Facebook itself. And Zuckerberg has responded.
Zuckerberg dismisses calls to break up Facebook. Beep, bop, beep, 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 boop.
He says,
bleep, blah, bleep, bleep,
I don't think so, bro. And he says, hey, Facebook has a lot of competition. He was kind of saying without saying, like, have you seen how badly Facebook itself is doing? Do you know how many people we're losing? And in fact, they're losing so many people.
This was crazy. I did see this one. Facebook removed 2.2 billion fake accounts this year. It only has 2.38 billion active users.
How do you explain that? Well, it turns out
the bots.
They delete them usually within 5 minutes.
Which is impressive in its own way.
Also impressive that the bots are so persistent.
But they keep trying to make Facebook accounts.
Failure after failure. So, yeah. But it also goes to show you that if the bots are the only ones signing up and you're deleting basically all your new users.
Well, it's, I guess my younger cousins recently got Facebook, which surprised me. I figured they would just want Instagram or Twitter.
Are these the future thoughts that we referenced?
Yeah, but they do that to like keep in touch with family. I don't see them. They don't post thottery.
That is,
thankfully.
I think that is sort of the way things are going. It's like you get on Facebook to communicate with your parents and grandparents because old people are on Facebook.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, it's become kind of
like I don't post on there, but I use it to check out like the rest of my family stuff.
Like an awkward family reunion type thing.
Yeah.
So.
Or to like check out events or the marketplace. The marketplace is really fun to check out. It's like Craigslist but worse.
My neighbors had some sort of, I don't know if they were having like a Memorial Day family
yard
reunion
sale maybe.
There. No, it was like there were probably between 25 and 45 cars in their yard.
Probably a reunion or a barbecue or
well, we had high school graduations yesterday.
Oh, that's right.
So it could have been that. Anyway, I didn't plan this, but I had to mow my lawn yesterday. Now, our houses are not that close together, but my lawn stretches all the way down right next to the tents.
Oh.
I was just turning my way.
You were scaring all your snakes out of the long grass. The snakes were all just fleeing into their barbecue.
I was cracking myself. I was literally, when I was doing my, the edges, I was throwing grass onto their parked cars because they were parked all up and down the road.
Oh.
Listen.
Did you feel like an asshole?
I don't care. You know what? Go to the park. Rent out a room if you're going to do that kind of thing.
You can rent the stuff at the park. It's like $100. You can't serve alcohol though.
Right, and nobody's going to be cutting grass. Anyway, back to social media. Let's talk about opting out of Facebook facial recognition. Now, Krista, we've talked about in the past. Facebook, for a while there, was using your Facebook pictures and your grandparents' Facebook pictures to train facial recognition AI. And they said, we're going to let you opt out, don't worry. But
report finds some users can't opt out of Facebook's face recognition. That's true.
What?
So
Consumer Reports
again
found out about this.
Unbiased party.
And they said, let's test it. Was it Consumer Reports? I think it was. It was.
Yeah.
And they said, we're going to go and we're just going to create a bunch of Facebook accounts, which
flagged as bots.
But it worked. And they immediately went into the settings, and about 25% of them, for whatever reason, didn't have the option. Some of them did.
Why?
But not all of them.
Maybe did they upload photos on all of them? Maybe you have to upload a photo to trigger
I'm sure
it?
they try. Yeah, I'm sure they did them all the same. It's probably true that Facebook figured out it's like, we could keep training the AI if we had 25% of our users doing that. We don't need them all.
Yeah.
And so they set that number, and they figure that many people just won't check, right? Maybe we'll get lucky. CrossFit. What's your thoughts on CrossFit?
I don't really have any thoughts. I just know the meme is like, people who do CrossFit will let you know that they do CrossFit, but I don't actually know anybody who does it.
So the knock on CrossFit is that they do exercises that are designed to be done slowly and with careful form, but they just like bang them out just like,
as quickly as possible.
And they compete with each other to do more, and like high reps and reckless. That's the bad thing that people say about CrossFit. I mean, if you see people who do it though, they're in amazing shape. It seems.
So there's a CrossFit gym near my house,
and they do seem to have feats of strength, But that's not the only part about their CrossFit lifestyle. They also talk about diet, which has gotten them in trouble with Facebook.
CrossFit warns those who engage in activities contrary to prevailing opinion to avoid Facebook. I think they were saying like it was high carb. Was it high carb diet or high protein?
Low carb, high fat.
High fat.
So they're talking about, I guess, the ketogenic diet.
Yeah.
Was the one. And ketogenic diet, it is weird. You ever look at those meal plans?
They're crazy.
It's like...
I have a friend who's doing it. He does it for his diabetes or something, but I feel like somehow that wouldn't work, but he insists that it does.
No, it would, because it's all about the glycemic index. Right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's like long-term good for you, but the crazy part about it is how much fat you need to consume. So it's like, for dinner today, have a steak and a stick of butter.
Yeah, like he'll show us like the stuff he makes for dinner, and it's like...
Yeah, because obviously cooking with all that fat, you can make it really delicious. You just can't have any bread or sugar or anything like that. So, Facebook, for whatever reason, decided that was evil propaganda. You can't have it.
Seems a little weird.
Seems a little weird. Now they did.
But I wonder if this is like, the next step from anti-vaxxing. Now it's like, now you can't be on the keto diet. Is that
right? It's exactly like that because, quote unquote, the mainstream science says do it like this. Now this is the mainstream science that we know was infiltrated by the sugar industry.
Yeah.
To vilify fat and keep us eating corn syrup and sugar, which hasn't gone well. But
my two favorite food groups.
They are delicious, right?
Yeah.
That's the very top of that pyramid. That's what you want.
Yeah.
But the people who, or the CrossFit people, have now said they're done. They're done with Facebook and all of Facebook's. They're not going to tolerate
policies.
that kind of stuff. And they do say, just like the anti-vaxxers, just because the quote unquote modern science doesn't agree with us doesn't mean that we're wrong and we can't have a voice. Who's to say? Should it be in Facebook's hands?
Facebook's robotic claws.
Should Facebook... Now, here's an interesting juxtaposition, right? Facebook banned them because presumably they're saying they're spreading false information, right?
Right.
But it's somewhat subjective. But what about this?
Facebook refuses to delete fake Pelosi videos spread by Trump supporters.
Now, it's not a fake video per se, but someone definitely went in there and slowed her down to make it seem like she was slurring and, yeah. Clearly, I mean, we have the original video.
So it's pretty obvious to tell.
You can prove it, but Facebook has ruled that, okay, we understand it's fake, but nothing in our terms of service says that you can't post fake videos. You're allowed to do this. So they won't take this down.
Wasn't it the point of something like Snopes? I mean, I feel like that's just the thing that people don't do anymore. They don't check something like Snopes or just Google it.
You shouldn't trust Snopes.
You said that before, but even just Googling it.
You should Google who Snopes is. Do you know what their organization looks like? You should check that out. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I hate Pelosi, but I don't think this is the way to... I think Pelosi's speeches on their own are bad enough. We don't need to...
add slurs.
Yeah. And Trump retweeted this, of course, which got a lot of attention, and people took one side or the other. But is it... I mean, Facebook has said that it's their job to police things, but now they're not going to police this for whatever reason. I think they're just a little bit afraid of...
everything at this point.
Well, yeah, but they're getting the backswing where the conservatives are coming after them now for shutting them down. Whereas before, the liberals were coming after them to get rid of the conservatives.
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. But it's a fake video. If you want to watch it, it's kind of funny. Police use Facebook, Krista.
You're right.
And they use fake accounts, which is not... that's against the terms of service. But they won't stop doing it. But that's not what this story is about. This story is about police posting and asking people to turn themselves in.
Despite reaching Facebook likes mark, Torrington man has yet to surrender. How many, was it 5,000? If this post gets 5,000 likes...
it wasn't 5,000, but let me ask you, how many would it take for you?
To turn myself in if I committed a crime?
Yeah.
What crime did he commit? I don't recall.
This was failure to appear.
I don't know. I feel like I would probably be a sheep and just cooperate.
You would have gone to court in the first place.
Yeah.
That's who you are. So, they actually negotiated, right?
They negotiated with terrorists.
Yeah, they did. He felt 20,000 was the correct number.
Oh, okay.
They were willing to go
5.
for 10, so they met in the middle for 15. They got 25,000, but he still refuses to turn himself in.
Listen, I was lying.
But here's the thing about it. Excuse me. The police argue, and you have to agree, they're not, whether he turns himself in or not, this is a huge news story. Everybody's looking at his picture. Yeah. So he's more likely to get caught. So don't fall for it if they offer you
Facebook likes.
The like thing. That's a misdirection. The story, I left it in.
It's a little bit of a nothing burger.
It is a huge nothing burger, and this is kind of, I mean, it's, what's the alternative, right?
Yeah.
And let me tell you from, well, let's do the headline.
Oh, an algorithm may decide who gets suicide prevention. A recent study on Google's search results raises questions about the faith we put in algorithms and the tech companies that use them.
So here's the thing. Google and Facebook both use an algorithm to try and figure out if you're going to commit suicide.
Based on like what keywords and stuff you're looking for.
If you were to go on there on Google and search ways to commit suicide, for example, Google will pop up a little window. And it's like, hey,
here's the suicide hotline.
Why don't you talk to somebody, right? And then on Facebook, if you post stuff like that, they'll do the same thing. They don't. It's not intrusive, but it's just like, maybe you would like to make this phone call, right? So this person, Jake Peter, tested this in a variety of languages. And he was like, oh, if you don't speak English, Google doesn't care about you.
Except what I was thinking was, are there suicide hotlines even available in some of the countries they tested? Like,
that's a good question. But we've done internationalization for software and websites. It is a pain in the ass, let me tell you. Oh, it is a lot of work. And I don't think this is at the...
Hell, just getting the translations from the marketing people is a lot of work.
And so it's not a factor of like... okay, let's say Google doesn't have the resources to do this for every language. Does that mean we shouldn't do it for English-speaking people?
Yeah, I don't understand what the point was here. I guess maybe just to like...
Just signaling. That's all this was.
That's to make it more widely. But again, if there's not already translations on something like the suicide hotline, like another country's going to have to develop that themselves. That's not something Google probably wants to invest in and like run, would be a suicide hotline.
And let's face it, English is the language of technology, right? I mean, your programming languages are in English. They might be Mandarin.
Yeah, for now.
But I don't think that has anything to do with...
It wasn't malicious, I don't think.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, here's a cool feature, let's roll it out.
It's like the Amazon thing that was selecting for male resumes, like male-sounding names. I wouldn't say that was necessarily malicious so much as most of the employees who already work here are male.
But it was because the AI figured that out on its own.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't malicious.
So.
Same kind of thing.
Let's face it, Google and Facebook are here to make money, right? They're for-profit companies. Do you make a lot of money from suicide people?
Well, if they're dead, they don't buy things.
Are they big spenders? So it's not. I mean, they didn't add that to try and make more money or to try to sell them ads or anything like that. Are you targeting ads towards suicide people? No. They added that just as a human thing to do.
Humans being bros.
And we're complaining about it. Krista, rye whiskey. That's one of your big things that you love.
Yeah, you know me, alcohol. Alcohol.
So you should be excited about this.
Oh no, there's AI whiskey now. If you're thinking robots made it, that's not quite true. They did develop the recipe though.
Yeah, so all sorts of different ingredients can go into whiskey.
Different types of mash and grain and garbage. I actually don't know what all whiskey. I don't know if it's corn or.
Well,
there's very distinct percentages that have to be met, Ryan.
Whiskey is always grain, right?
I think so.
Can it be corn?
I think bourbon maybe is corn.
Moonshine is made of corn. Is that a whiskey? I don't know.
Someone will tell us. I've had to.
I can't believe that you're in Kentucky and you don't know. Anyway.
Says someone with the accent.
Yeah. So what's going to happen here is they've gone back. They've got all the data of all the different whiskeys recipes that they've made.
Right.
And sales data about how well it was received by the public. They've fed all that into machine learning and tasked it to go through and put together the ultimate whiskey recipes. What to put in it, how long to brew it, how long to age it, what kind of barrel to put it in. And so we're going to find out what computers think that we should drink. Probably not.
Also, can you imagine what if it's terrible because the computer just
Or it's just it makes you go blind immediately.
Yeah.
But it's delicious.
But it's wonderful. It's the best drink you could possibly have.
But you got to wonder if they're going to age that for a couple years. We probably won't see that anytime soon. Right?
No, probably not.
I love this story.
This is terrifying.
It is terrifying, but also hilarious.
And wonderful, yeah.
People are going to do hilarious things with it.
Samsung deepfake AI could fabricate a video of you from a single profile pic. And the example they have here is the Mona Lisa.
And she looks so, alive and animated.
I wonder whose mannerisms they copied.
Well, I think they explained that. It's, they've got some pictures here. So, the video itself is a huge library of machine learning, people talking and stuff like that. And then it just takes the picture and takes your face and puts it onto the generic talking thing and tries to map it together. It's incredible. It's one of those...
it does work surprisingly well.
It's one of those discriminator AIs. So it's trying millions and millions of iterations of it.
What if you had a really weird face? Do you think it would do it?
I think so, yeah.
You think so?
I mean, Mona Lisa...
I saw some other examples, but I can't... They were just average-looking people.
Mona Lisa has a pretty unique face, right?
Kind of.
So, in the future, anybody is going to be in fake video. I mean, there's going to be video.
I know. Isn't that scary to think about?
That's crazy, yeah. So, they mentioned the Nancy Pelosi thing here, but they didn't use any kind of deepfake technology on Nancy Pelosi.
No, that was just editing.
They just slowed down her voice, which is the most basic edit that you can do. And it shouldn't fool anybody.
And yet it does.
Donald Trump.
USA. USA.
Well, speaking of the USA and our wonderful Postal Service, which is going to go out of business in 5 years. But the cool thing about it is, during that 5 years, robot trucks.
Self-driving trucks begin mail delivery test for U.S. Postal Service.
Look at it.
Aw.
Look at the glory of it. So this is one of those postal processing centers, and it's moving mail. Too Simple. TU Simple is the name of this company that's making this truck.
Too simple.
It's too simple not to work, right?
Yeah, transporting things across large distances completely, totally easy.
Phoenix and Dallas, and of course, Krista, every time we bring up these trucks running around in
I'm always like, where is it? And it is always the flattest, straightest roads.
And they're going to, here's the
dry areas of the country.
Here's the crazy thing about this, right? So They're only going to do it for 2 weeks. We don't know what they're going to do after that. And there has to be a human being in the cab of the truck. But the route is long enough that the human being, it's more of a work shift than the human being can legally do. So at some point, the truck's going to have to stop and switch humans.
Oh.
Even though it doesn't need them.
That's an interesting time of year to try and drive through Texas as well, considering it is tornado season in the U.S. right now.
Do you think self-driving trucks are prepared for dodging tornadoes?
I don't think that's probably why the human operator.
What about, you think the LiDAR and the cameras could identify a flying cow?
And save the car.
It's like evasive maneuvers.
There's that guy, the YouTuber I watch, Picos Hank. He posted a video, I think it was yesterday, well, like a week ago from now, where he got like really, like way too close to a tornado and filmed it, and I was just like, it was the most tense like 2-minute video I've ever watched.
Like getting close to a tornado.
It's very foolhardy. It was scary.
Well, but it feels like not a big deal until the moment that it's a big deal.
Yeah, like he was like totally fine just recording stuff, talking about like the measurements and stuff, and then he was like, oh, I'm too close. Oh, I'm too close. It doesn't look like it's moving. That means it's probably moving toward me. And then he just takes off.
Remember the video of the guy that was cutting his grass while the tornado was in the distance?
Yeah, yeah.
That was hilarious. We've talked about AI and medicine, and I don't even remember there were brain tumors, stroke possibilities,
yeah,
bone fractures. There were some other ones too. There was an eye-related one. Anyway, all these different things. AI, when it looks at scans and X-rays and stuff, it's really good. Well, add another one to the list.
Lung cancer. Google's lung cancer detection AI outperforms 6 human radiologists. And I think, what was it? How long had they been in school? Like 8 years, it said, that they've been practicing?
Not in school. They had been
actually practicing, yeah.
Radiologists for 8 years. So they took a huge data set of people and I can't remember how many people it was. It was 15,000 patients. 578 of them actually developed cancer. So the job of these radiologists and the robot was randomly look at these and decide whether or not they were.
Actually, yeah.
And the robot beat them in long-term and short-term cases. We're so close.
Even less reason to go into medical debt or to go into school debt to go get a medical degree.
Yeah.
They're going to replace you for some of these jobs.
But
I mean, you still have to form a treatment plan and stuff, I guess, but
it's also that dark future where your insurance company is making an even more emotionless black and white decision about your life.
Yeah.
It's going to
be the algorithm says
like the doctor doesn't even get to decide. It's just the AI says you've got no chance. We don't want to pay for this. Please go die. That kind of thing. Darkness. But the good news is, while you sit at home with no health care, you can still get Amazon deliveries. And let's assume that you have, we talked about, actually we didn't talk about this, but was it San Francisco where the bubonic plague might be making a comeback?
Oh, yeah. I think we talked about that just randomly.
The rats and, we talked about it on the stream. The rats and the garbage and the stuff. So let's say that you get the plague or some other ancient disease. Well, how about leprosy? Right?
All right, yeah.
You have leprosy. The insurance company doesn't want to treat you because the AI says no. And you're at home. Delivery drivers, they don't want to come to your house. You're a leper, right?
Literally a leper.
So what are you going to do? Well, Ford has you covered.
Ford's way to finish driverless deliveries. Package-carrying robots. And look at him, this little Gumby fella. He's colored like Gumby.
With his grasshopper legs.
Yeah, it's a little scary. I thought he might have been a Boston Dynamics robot, but
he does. Well, I mean, I imagine
he kind of looks like one, but
it's just the most functional form of robot. Right?
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, we've read all of our complimentary Bloomberg stories for the week, but if you haven't, you can look at more pictures. And there's a picture of him where he's all folded up in the back of the truck. So he folds up into a nice little cube.
To comfortably live in the van life.
He's van life.
He's van life in it.
24/7. And so they suspect this guy he'll be able to climb stairs, gravel, all the various weird things that people have at their homes, come up, give you your package.
I don't know why he's a he, but he is a he to me.
He does look like a he.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Well, I'll tell you why.
He kind of looks like he has a hat.
Because look at his little flat butt and his flat chest. right?
Yeah.
He's very masculine looking.
Well, the color's kind of male,
His shoulders are much wider than his hips, right?
I guess.
Skinny legs. That's a male robot.
He's not thick.
Not at all.
THICC.
Meanwhile, in China, a different tack for the final delivery.
DHL launches its first regular, fully automated, intelligent urban drone delivery service. And there's a picture of it.
So, this is cool because the question of drone delivery is always, what's it going to do with the package, right? Is it going to drop it right on your porch while your dog snatches it out of the sky? Is it going to drop it on your face
while Rude shreds it?
Yeah. Or
while the cats shred it?
Are you going to drop it on your car and dent your car? So the answer that DHL has come up with in China is, you've got these little deposit boxes, right? These little squares right here, those correspond with this box. So it goes down, deposits its box, it gets put into one of those lockers. The outgoing box comes up and goes up to it, it flies and it goes to the other box, and it just keeps
doing that.
Ferrying between.
It kind of looks like almost like you drop the box and it goes and just like shreds the box. That's what that looks like.
Yeah,
I don't know why. Like a saw.
You fill the box with unwanted kittens.
The drone just quietly deposits them in.
You ever seen that video where they shred the baby chicks, the male chicks?
No, I don't want to see that.
It's so quick.
I'm sure.
You don't even see much violence. It's just like, it starts and then there's little feathers floating down.
Oh.
Yeah, it's bad. With modern politics, it's hard to reach the younger generation, right?
I guess so.
You don't know what they're into. Like your nieces you're talking about.
Yeah.
We don't know if they're Instagram thoughts. We don't know if they're on Facebook. We're too old. Our minds,
they're slow.
We can't comprehend what the children are up to.
Peanut butter.
But this Danish parliamentary candidate has figured it out.
Danish parliamentary candidate runs ad on PornHub. And I think, at least according to, look at him, he does look like someone who would run an ad on PornHub. I think in his statement, he said he was just like, I'm not going to try and talk to you about any issues. I just thought it'd be funny to run an ad here. And that's the end of the ad.
Yeah, and he said...
It was literally just a publicity stunt.
He was critiqued for it, and he said, whatever, get over it. People watch porn, and I want those people to vote for me. And if you want to talk about politics, then I will talk about my politics, but, that was just a fun thing to do.
Do you think that was really effective? Because it was probably expensive, right?
I think he paid like $400 or something for it.
I don't know.
It's not super expensive.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it's somewhat effective, because... a lot of people, I think, vote based on very obscure, loose ideas, right?
Yeah.
Like, they don't know what they're voting for. They don't know anything about these people. They like the look of one of them, or they've heard something that, or Orange Man bad.
Orange Man bad.
And people really don't know enough. So just get your name out there, I think, is a big part of it. Which is why they blanket the world in those little signs.
Oh, yeah, I hate that.
Now, this is
the Indian Express. Don't have a lot of stories from them.
This is a crazy story, and I think, Krista, you have to worry about this because you're getting married. And what if this happened to you?
Gujarat. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. 19-year-old mother calls helpline seeking divorce to live with PUBG partner. Apparently, she plays PUBG on her mobile phone and fell in love with her duo queue partner.
Yes. So much. But they also mentioned that within the family, there'd been a lot of static because the rest of the family was like, you need to stop playing PUBG and take care of your family.
Well, I kind of wonder. So 19 years old.
Yeah.
And probably from a rural area. And I'm not sure where, maybe it's not. But 19-year-old mother, it makes me wonder if she's in an arranged marriage. And this is her only way of coping is just getting online and playing a game.
Could be a lot of those things. Could just be straight up PUBG addiction.
One or the other, yeah.
So it's a weird situation. So you have to request permission to divorce in India, apparently. And you call up this government association, and they actually sent people to the house.
To check on
And they were like, no, we have to fix this. You have to stay married, and you need to quit playing PUBG. And she was like...
over my dead body.
She was like, all right, you guys can leave. Just pretend I never called. And so, how do you feel if you're the husband?
Husband probably is like, whatever, just keep pushing out babies for me.
I don't think that. I mean, come on. You're saying he has no feelings?
I mean, I don't know.
Now, we talked about. I don't know if we talked about this on the news. I think again this was something else we talked about. But we're in Kentucky, and Kentucky.
It's got a rough reputation.
Some negative stereotypes for sure. Some of them deserved, some of them not.
Yeehaw.
A lot of times like you want to attack, you want to punch down, as they say, right?
Yeah.
The only way that we can punch down usually is West Virginia.
Oh, but Alabama.
Well, that's
Alabama taking the heat.
All of a sudden, Alabama has
a real contender
rocketed to the bottom, and nobody's talking about Kentucky anymore, right?
Woo!
Now we can just pass.
The sun shines bright on my old Kentucky home,
but not on Alabama.
Alabama Public Television refuses to air Arthur episode with a gay wedding.
So this is here they are, the gay couple. I don't know what kind of animals
they're
are
aardvarks.
I think this guy's a rat, right?
Wow, that's
He's Mr. Ratburn, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I think Arthur and his sister are aardvarks, right?
I don't know anything about it. What is this character?
I've
that's
never
horrific.
I never liked Arthur growing up.
I don't like this art style at all.
No, there was something like a little uncanny valley about it growing up.
So anyway, Mr. Ratburn is gay. I don't think they've ever addressed that before. He's having a gay wedding. Now, PBS actually sent out a press release to all their affiliates, and we're like, listen, we got this episode of Arthur coming up. You might not want to air it. And Alabama was apparently the only one who said, you're right, we don't.
All right.
So,
taking that heat off us.
I mean, I'm sure you could get it online somewhere.
If you really wanted to watch it.
If you really want to watch that gay wedding.
Who liked Arthur?
You think there's any...
Arthur's like what you watched when there was nothing else on.
You think there's going to be... Oh, that's after my time. I've never heard of it. You think there's going to be any, like, deviant art stuff of the wedding night?
I'm probably sure. Well, I mean, they're kind of furries already, right? Like
Arthur furries? That's dark.
Oh, they kind of are, though. I mean, like, go back and look at that.
You really want to revisit that?
Those are furries.
Which one do you think's the top?
Oh, okay. That's too far.
Oh, you want to revisit it, but it's too far.
No, I was pointing out the art style. Now you're like wanting to go into fan fiction territory.
Well, let's talk about
Mr. Ratburn deserves better than that.
Oh, Mr. Ratburn's a freak. In the privacy of his own home.
It's crazy.
Space piracy, Krista.
This is a good picture. Real human Ted Cruz. Space pirate threat is real. U.S. Senator insists despite mockery.
So Ted Cruz, ex-presidential candidate,
real human,
talked about
not a robot.
Now he talked about space piracy, and he actually pointed out that in every fictional world, space piracy is a problem. So we should anticipate it, right?
I mean, in a lot of fantasy worlds, dragons are a problem, but I don't know that we really need to anticipate that.
I don't think there's any crossover between dragons and space pirates, are there? There probably is at least one or two.
Probably. In the Silmarillion,
there are no space pirates.
There are.
Okay.
He's not really a space pirate, but
no,
he's a space sailor. And there are dragons in space.
I'm torn between asking for more details
and not caring enough to do it.
Being done with the news before 6 o'clock.
All right.
People are going to be like, I want to hear about that.
Ariandel the Mariner, look it up.
You should do a special, optional end of the news.
Just lore updates about... Here's my conspiracy theories about Lord of the Rings and the Silmarillion.
So everyone made fun of him. Yeah. Obviously, people posted out. And then he tried to, get back into it.
Yeah.
But it's like, come on, bro. And then he complained because in the, Twitter moments, only the people making fun of him were getting displayed and not his defenders.
Well, it's because people like those better.
But it was a stupid thing. Now, I'm sure that we will have, eventually, when it's so cheap to go to space that people can do it without regulatory...
Space pirates will be a thing, but that's years and years in the future.
I don't think it'll be space pirates who are attacking other vessels.
Prepare to be boarded, and then like you just blow a hole in both ships and die instantly.
I think it'll be space pirates who go up and just like grab a bunch of satellites.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think blowing holes in each other with cannons, space cannons, is a better idea.
I'm disappointed in WTVM, whatever local station this is, because they didn't show the full picture here.
Oh yeah. 1,000 signed petition to make Danny DeVito next Wolverine.
Such a great mock-up.
That really is.
Because the whole picture where he's got the claws is really good. It's easy to find if you just Google it. But these people, it's like some kind of petition, like one of those change.org things, but it's not change.org. Anyway,
if you can't tell, we're on the nonsense section.
People want Danny DeVito to be a Wolverine. I think he would...
it was very elegantly written, the person who made the petition.
That would be hilarious. I don't know if the joke would carry through a 2-hour movie.
No. Watching him, like, rough and tumble over, like, terrain and stuff.
Like the four-legged, like, running that he does when he goes into the beast mode. This is a story that...
This is sad. We have a couple sad stories. I don't know why you included them.
Because the scourge of children. And this is an issue that I feel strongly about because they should have euthanized the child.
Anyway, Flamingo, Illinois Zoo euthanized after child throws rock and injures it.
So this stupid kid...
They didn't say anything about the child, like how old the child was or...
Oh, because it's like, oh, we got to protect children. No, that kid's face should be on the headline. Like,
I don't...
Moron child destroys innocent animal.
I don't understand, like, how old the kid is changes it a little bit.
They're not allowed to say anything about the kids, right? Because they're just stupid child protection laws.
Apparently, they're working with the parent to make this a teaching moment.
Yeah,
which I don't know why a kid over a certain age would need a teaching moment.
Well, you should teach the other kids in this kid's class at his execution. It's like, here's why we don't mess with the flamingos.
This kid and the kid who did stuff to Harambe, like...
Wasn't that the mom that dropped him in there? That kid was like toddler. This kid was old enough he was skipping rocks.
Oh, okay.
So that's like, to be strong enough to do that.
That's what I was thinking. It sounds like this was an older child.
I think this was like between 8 and 10, I would say.
That's old enough to know not to throw rocks at birds.
Old enough for a firing line after something like this. So he hit the little flamingos, like the flamingo's legs are like paper mache.
Yeah, yeah.
A strong breeze will just snap them. And he hit it with a rock and basically sheared it off. And a one-legged flamingo ain't gonna make it.
Unlike the popular yard ornament. I'm just not even gonna finish that thought.
It's getting late in the news.
It is.
So yeah, don't flamingos sometimes stand on one leg for whatever reason?
Yeah, like the ornaments have like the one leg.
I think they like tuck one.
Yeah.
And sleep or something. So he would only ever be able to stand on one leg. He wouldn't be able to.
That'd be a miserable life for a flamingo.
So they put him down. Poor little flamingo. Disgusting. Now, Krista, the 2-year plan, we're burning through it. We're on like the last year and 3 months or something like that. So pretty soon, you're going to have to think about things like summer camp.
Right.
Are you interested in making your child a YouTube star like you are?
I think calling us YouTube stars is pretty general. Or generous. Dang it.
Well, this is the nonsense section.
Parents are spending thousands on YouTube camps that teach kids how to be famous. The first thing they should teach them is there is no guarantee and that you should be doing this just for fun. And B, if you do get famous, they should teach you mental health coping strategies.
I think...
Because so many of the YouTubers you see, like the big ones, are always talking about how they're on the verge of a mental breakdown.
Well, week 1, you're going to cover, like, operating the camera and setting your space up and, the technical details, microphones.
Promoting it.
Microphones are constant. Then
we can't do microphones.
Week 2, they explain to the children, grow huge breasts. Because that's what people like on social media. That's how you get popular. But they point out
so one of these camps was like $1,000.
Well, they point out the kid that plays with toys, and he's like a billionaire from it.
There's a lot of channels like that where they just unbox toys.
There's one that's just like the king of them. And he's a young kid. And it's like, no, your kid can be the next.
Whatever, if they have a good idea.
Yeah, right. Well, the kid didn't have the idea.
Yeah. One of my younger cousins said he wanted to be on YouTube. And then he was like, well, I would like to do that. But he's like, I don't really have any good ideas, so I'm not going to do that. And I was like, did you just like
Although,
have enough cognitive understanding there to know that you don't offer anything to that market.
do you feel like PewDiePie or the two brothers that went into the Japanese forest, the Paul brothers, do they have good ideas?
No, but they're idiots, and some people seem to enjoy that.
Well, that just flies in the face of what you've said.
Well, maybe Jake's not confident in his little personality yet.
Isn't one of those guys named Jake?
Yeah.
Jake could be the next
The
Jake.
next Jake. I don't know.
Is Jake the one that kept messing up our car color scheme in Rocket League?
Yeah, because I let him play it, and then he changes the cars.
I got nothing for Jake. I'm done with him.
I didn't mess. He doesn't mess with your account. It's the cars on my account.
We had a scheme for our team, and he screwed it up.
Oh yeah, because he likes to decorate the cars himself.
Oh, well, Jake's got to be an individual.
Unlocked new stuff for me.
Talk about Sonic the Hedgehog.
Sonic the Hedgehog movie is getting delayed to redesign the title character. I am falling apart right now.
So there he is.
Only one cup of coffee this
People
morning.
hate him, and they hate him so much that now Valentine's Day 2020 is the new date when we will see Sonic, the redesigned Sonic.
What a horrible release day.
Well, you can take your date to see the horrible anthropomorphic.
Would you? So say you meet a nice lady on farmersonly.com and you guys are like, okay, let's do our first date. Let's go see a movie. And she says, I want to go see the new Sonic movie.
I think a movie is the worst first date you could have with an individual, right?
It would be pretty bad.
Because what's the purpose of a date, really?
So get to know someone.
You are filtering, right?
Right.
First date is the first filter. And if you get past like the desperation of I just want to have sex with this girl no matter what, and you're really actually trying to figure out if you're a match, why would you want to just sit quietly in a dark room and not interact with them for the entire date? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Say no to movies for first dates, chat.
First day with my fiance, we went out to a restaurant and then we went to a bookstore.
That I'm not even going to talk about that because
both of us were so nervous. Like he was sweating and I was trembling.
But
we're both so socially awkward.
I can't address the reason that doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
So
we kind of knew each other a little bit before.
Oh, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about.
We played Minecraft together.
Russia, Krista.
Right.
In communist Russia, the restaurant cooks what you tell them to cook. Which doesn't really fit the in communist Russia meme format.
It really doesn't. Delivery app orders restaurants to cook almost whatever you want. Almost.
This is Yandex.
Excuse me?
Yandex.
Bless you.
Yandex is a ordering system, kind of like Uber. Yeah, Uber's part of it. But here's the catch. You know those Amazon Blue Apron, like, ready-made meal type things?
Yeah.
So Yandex has those, and you go on and you go through their menu and you're like, I want that. They deliver that to the restaurant. Wait for them to make it, and then bring it to you. It's a bizarre twist on Uber Eats.
Wouldn't that be more expensive, too, because you're paying for the raw ingredients and the travel fees?
It does seem like the car would just be sitting there for a long amount of time.
Yeah.
And the restaurant wouldn't necessarily be good at it because it's not something they cook all the time.
Yeah.
It seems like a terrible idea.
It's almost like that's probably going to fail.
Now,
another terrible story here.
Dogs don't live as long as humans. We know that.
Yeah.
Nor do cats. You and I are both facing a dark time when our beloved fur babies pass on. But let's say that you go first for whatever reason. Let's say you go on your backpacking trip and you are viciously knife murdered, as happened on the Appalachian Trail.
Listen, that's not going to happen to me and my friend when we go. For no reason.
Do you want me to go ahead and cut Rue's throat so she can be buried with you?
No, because that's insane.
Well, these Virginians disagree.
Healthy dog put down because owner wanted to be buried together. Huh? That was my reaction when I read that.
This is Emma.
She's dead now, so.
Oh, that's not Emma. That's just
an approximation.
A common Shih Tzu. So, yeah. They put in their will that the dog should be buried with them. And rather than bury the dog alive. Now, that would be like the Egyptian way to do it, right?
That would be the ultimate.
But they didn't do that. Instead, so she was for 2 weeks, who doesn't bury someone for 2 weeks?
Usually that's pretty quick, or
Yeah.
at least, at the very least, they take you to the funeral home and have
But
your body prepared.
I think actually,
literally the next day.
Actually, the reason for that is because it is illegal. It's illegal to do this in most places. Virginia, it's not. But it is illegal to put the dog or the dog's ashes, they cremated the dog, in with you, right? There has to be another piece of dirt for the dog. So I think they buried the person. For 2 weeks, the shelter was like, I can't believe you're asking me to kill this dog.
Yeah, the shelter were like, we can adopt this dog. Yeah.
And it's
It's 'cause it was fairly young.
It's like a purebred, right?
And it was healthy, yeah. Like, they were like, this dog has many more years ahead of it.
But the family was adamant, no. And they like the first vet was like, I'm not doing this. So they found one that would, I guess. Euthanized it, popped it in the oven, and right in the ground at the cemetery.
That's so sad.
As master demanded.
That's so sad.
I would, I would want somebody to take in my little cats. And
Yeah, why would you not have them be adopted again?
So they can enjoy the constant meowing that I enjoy.
You just want to punish their next owner.
Two little monsters. Now, Krista, I know when you get high, as a responsible pet owner, you don't share your drugs with Rue.
Rue wants me to share everything with her.
But you can't do
She
that,
wanted
right?
to drink my coffee this morning.
Because, well, it's another drug. And you shouldn't share your drugs with your animals. Oh, wait, California says, hold my weed.
California veterinarians could soon recommend medical marijuana for pets.
Look at this guy.
I thought dogs can get sick from marijuana. Like, do they even process it the same way human bodies do?
Well, let me tell you, from some parties I attended in high school, you can definitely get dogs high.
Wouldn't that be dangerous for them? Because they're much smaller.
I'm sure. The dog I saw get high was a golden retriever. He was big.
Yeah.
But I saw somebody, blow marijuana into the dog, like hold the snout. And this dog ran around the house like 5 times, just freaked out, and then ate like 4 bowls of food, and then went and laid down, went to sleep. I don't see that would help it if it's got some sort of terrible condition.
Yeah, like anxiety or something. That's strange to me.
But
I was pretty sure that, and I say that because I had a family friend who their dog ate some marijuana, and then I think they had to have the dog's stomach pumped. I guess that's different than...
But, see, you can't just eat weed.
Yeah.
You have to... It's fat soluble. So you have to put it in something that has fat.
Yeah.
So a dog eating it, maybe just because it couldn't poop it out, probably.
Is it raining?
Oh, I hope not, because I drove...
The nice car?
Yeah.
I have my windows cracked, so I hope it's not, pouring rain right now.
Anyway, I don't know. I mean, isn't recreational weed legal in California?
I think so.
So why wouldn't you just...
There's a lot of weird logical steps in this.
Pepe the Frog. He's dead, we know.
Yeah,
He was
Pepe hands.
killed by his owner. Before that, none other than Alex Jones sold some T-shirts
Merch.
featuring Mr. Pepe the Frog, and a court battle has ensued. Jones wanted to have the suit thrown out. A judge says...
Judge refuses to toss suit over Pepe the Frog poster sales. I kind of side with the artist here.
So...
Because, it is his property
here's the thing about
that they're
it.
making money on.
Here's the argument that probably won't change your mind, and I kind of agree with you, but the T-shirt in question wasn't just Pepe, right? So it had the Milo Yiannopoulos guy.
Yeah.
It had Trump. It had Pepe, and it was like a collage of the election, right? All the big figures of the election. And so Jones' lawyers are arguing that's fair use. He also says that Pepe was based on El Sapo Pepe, or Pepe the Toad, who was a pre-existing character.
I don't think that's true. That's
I
not
don't
from
know.
anything I've heard is that it's that one artist who made the original character.
The creator says he didn't know anything about this El Sapo Pepe.
Yeah.
So he's saying, I didn't know anything about it. It's my work. You can't sell it. And Jones made $31,000 from those Pepe T-shirts. That's a lot of T-shirts.
Pepe's coming for him.
So,
Yeah, I would kind of be pissed too if I was the artist in question.
And I don't think the artist cares so much about the money, but he hated the idea of Pepe being a right-wing figure.
Except he wasn't originally. I hope it's not
that's
raining.
thunder.
Yeah.
Oh man, sucks.
Hurry quick. Let's get it done.
Now, with four more stories. Again, we talked about you're going to be raising children. Terrible decision, by the way. When it comes time and you're like, little child, you're 3 or 4 years old, you can now communicate with me. What kind of birthday cake do you want? And they say, Mommy, I want a frog birthday cake. How disappointed would you be if you got this? I think this is the most
I
hilarious
think this is
cake.
actually hilarious. Pathetic frog birthday cake from supermarket leaves parents mortified. It was a disgrace.
It is a disgrace.
I think this would make me laugh so hard I wouldn't even be mad.
So
I would just get like a little plastic frog and put it on there and call it a day. You know what I mean? And get some candles. It's fine.
So apparently this woman called him up.
I don't think it's raining yet. Sorry. I thought it was raining.
This woman called him up and she was like, hey, want a frog cake? And they're like, all right, we'll do it. But after she received this beauty, look at it. Oh, I just can't stop looking at it.
It's so good.
She called him up and she was like, this is crazy. This is not a frog. And they're like, man, we don't decorate cakes.
But someone, see, the thing at supermarket bakeries is that different people were working different shifts, and who knows who she talked to. Initially, who said, oh, yeah, we can do that. And then, you know.
So she ended up hiring another baker. Woolworths was the store. She hired another baker who came in and made an actual frog cake. Gotta wonder what that cost. What does an emergency baker cost?
My mom always made my cakes growing up. Like,
yeah. No,
one year I wanted an ice cream cake, and my mom bought me an ice cream cake.
I never had themed cakes, I don't think. Although
my mom would usually decorate
my mom
them.
had some of those shaped tins. I
Yeah.
had some Masters of the Universe shaped cakes.
Oh.
Yeah.
My mom usually decorated mine, but like she just made them herself.
The story is just stupid. You think about why people do this, and it's to be unique, right?
Right.
It's like, I'm going to do something that most people can't do or won't do. But then you find out that so many people are doing it.
Well, there was a documentary on YouTube recently that was like being promoted, but spring Himalaya expeditions claim 18 lives, including 8 on crowded Everest.
So this is the death zone. Like, there's the peak, right?
Well, the death zone goes down way far because,
But look at all these people.
Yeah. Well, and that doesn't count all the Sherpas and
Yeah.
people who are helping you up the mountain. Like, you're not
So-
even carrying your own gear a lot of times.
So I guess waiting to get to the top, and it's not like you can just be like, oh, excuse me, I'm going to go back down. Once
Yeah.
you're in that, it's like a drive-through with the big curves.
And you have to carry oxygen up there because the air's too thin to breathe.
Well, that's the thing. People are spending so long in the death zone waiting their turn. And also, like, if you get to the peak, how long do you get? How long do you wait? Do you just take your selfie and then move
And go on,
Or
yeah.
It's like, hey.
And it's like $11,000 just to take a trip like this.
Could you maybe move it along up there at the peak? Because, like, 5 guys are dead back there?
Yeah. And a lot of times, logistically, they can't take the bodies off the mountain.
Right, they just bury them in snow.
Yeah. Same thing with, like, waste as well.
What a wonderful
Waste
place to
doesn't decompose in those kind of temperatures. So, like,
go. What a great place.
Yeah.
I would love to do that, right?
I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand the appeal.
Ridiculous. If you've climbed Everest, you're stupid.
Rich, but probably maybe too rich for your own good.
I bet some people are like dropping, a third of their net worth just to be an Everest hipster.
Maybe.
So let's say that you're not comfortable with your own appearance, right? But you want to be baptized. You're only comfortable being baptized as your anime girl avatar. Before now, you couldn't do anything about it. The world has changed.
Real pastor holds church in VR, baptizes anime girl.
You said you didn't watch the video.
I didn't watch the video, no.
It's
I was
the
on mobile.
cringiest thing. So there she is.
This is just...
And for whatever reason, Winnie the Pooh is here as well.
Well, it's just their avatars.
And so this guy is the e-pastor. And he's talking about they're very annoying people. But there they are. There's a first-person point of view. Oh, Piglet's there too.
Oh, but he's scary Piglet.
And this guy touts this as being good for people who can't leave the house, or they have like crippling agoraphobia or something like that. Which, okay, right?
Yeah.
I kind of get it. But why does the anime girl have to be?
Well, it's probably just the avatar they already have. I don't know. I find this a little bit strange. As someone who practices the religion, usually baptism is something that, like, it is supposed to be a community thing.
But also, some places really like tone it down. Like they just sprinkle some water on you.
Yeah, like I mean, yeah, you can do, or you could just do it with like some family and friends. You don't have to do it in front of the whole congregation.
I know even the old regular Baptists, when someone was so sick, and a lot of times that's when they're doing it. Let's be honest, they're hedging their bets.
Yeah.
They would go to your house.
Yeah.
And do some stuff like that. So.
I got baptized in a feed trough.
Which is, that's the way you ought to do it. Why not? Now, I mentioned that I'd watched the final season of Game of Thrones finally, so you can unleash your spoilers. You probably shouldn't because other people are going to read it.
Yeah.
But Wendell hasn't watched it yet. I don't know if he cares.
I don't think he cares. Because we were talking about spoilers in front of him, he didn't care.
But it was bad.
I think it was objectively bad.
It was bad, yeah. And
there's a great production value, but...
And it does feel like more of a loss because everything before it was good. And at the end, you're just like, oh, all that for nothing.
Yeah.
That's right, for sure.
I know. I have my windows cracked just a little bit, but like the sides are going to be soaked.
So, well, let's just hurry up and get through it. In case you have those feelings, you've lost something, it's good news.
You can now find a Game of Thrones counselor near you. I guess people are so distraught by the ending that they're having to go to counseling, which, I mean, I don't know. Is that like a piece of art touched you? Maybe in a negative way, but...
Show us on the doll where it touched you.
Maybe that's good. Maybe you don't feel anything. And then the ending of Game of Thrones was so bad, you finally felt rage in your cold, dead heart.
I think it's just a bunch of people looking to take money from rubes. My mom is one of these people.
Does she watch Game of Thrones?
She gets so invested. No, she doesn't. No. Game of Thrones is way too adult for her.
You got to watch it on YouTube. So they can't show the boobs.
So I read the Wheel of Time books.
Yeah.
And she was always like, she didn't understand. I was like, you should try these. I'm telling you, you'll be way into this story. And so 2 weeks later, she was like, oh my God, can you believe this happened? I've been reading these books for like 2 years as they came out. And I was like, what do you mean? That never happened. And she was like, oh no, it's like book 7. And I was like, don't tell me that. She had read all the way through. And she stopped because the nightmares were disturbing her so much from the Wheel of Time characters.
Wait, like she didn't like where the characters were going?
She was so overwhelmed with, and those are like really good books. They're really immersive. And she was so overwhelmed by it that it was like consuming her life. Wow. She wasn't doing things around the house, and her dreams were about it.
That's how I was when I first started playing Overwatch. Like the first 2 weeks, I was dreaming about it when I went to bed.
So she's definitely the kind of person who would like be totally messed up by Game of Thrones, for sure.
Yeah. I can't wait to watch all like the people who make like film essays and stuff. I can't wait for all those people on YouTube to start producing those essays. I can't wait to watch them.
What about that when that new Star Wars comes out?
Oh.
All the activism reviews.
I think that it might, I don't know. There's enough people who won't care, but like I could see Disney sticking with them possibly being a negative for the hardcore fanboys. But I don't know if Disney cares about the hardcore fanboys anymore.
You know what Disney cares about? Money.
Money, yeah. So unless it's like the fanboys make such a show to affect the bottom line, then I don't think it'll matter.
All right, well, let's go get in our wet cars. Once again, theweatherchannel.com has lied.
Screwed us over.
Lied
Chris
to me.
Bailey. Lying. Ho.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.